Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Profitable Hypnosis Business online show where top experts share their kick-ass money-making strategies and success habits. My name is Andrea Ivanka, and in just a moment, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Karen Bird. So I am the founder of Total Boss Life, Total Boss Club, where we help entrepreneurs shape, grow, and leverage a high-income business and a high-impact life. And I'm super excited because you're in for a bonus interview today with somebody that you have seen over the last set of interviews that you've been watching. And it's none other than Karen Bird of Win with Hypnosis. So today we're going to be talking about top tips on structuring programs and packages. Now, you've gotten to hear about all of these amazing experts that Karen's been interviewing over the series, but now I want to introduce you to her because this woman is a powerhouse. Since she was very young, she aspired to work in mental health and inspire others to find their best authentic selves. And on her way to becoming an international speaker and trainer, Karen added a psychology degree and she founded Win with Hypnosis, where she has treated over 2,000 athletes and high performers. That's a lot of people. She's known as the game changer trainer for her ability to produce high performers with a mental edge. And now, through her Attitude of a Champion certification program, she is empowering everyday therapists to become game changing performance mindset therapists. So she's up to some pretty big things. She's the founder of Win with Hypnosis, based in Wisconsin, and for 15 years, she has worked with coaches, athletes at all levels to build confidence and mental toughness. She's the author of Hypnosniche, The Power of Niching for Successful and Profitable Hypnosis Business. And this is a book that makes a case for niching down, as I know, I'm always like niche, but she really makes the case for actually niching down as a hypnotherapist in order to stand out in the market and attract clients. She's the creator of the Attitude of a Champion program, which is an amazing program, by the way. And she provides hypnotherapists with the tool set and coaching to grow their practice in the sports hypnosis space. So a very, very warm welcome to you, Karen.
Thank you. It's so good to be on the other side.
I know, it's kind of fun, isn't it?
It is.
You know what I love about you taking this opportunity is all these people that have been watching these interviews that you've put on. Now they get an opportunity to get to know you because just like the experts that you've been interviewing, I mean, you've done some pretty incredible things. One of those things is really teaching people how to package and program. So let's kick it off, shall we? I'm going to ask you a question about packaging and programming. You ready?
I'm ready.
Alrighty. So tell us a little bit about the benefits of using packages and programs in your business.
All right. There are a lot of benefits. I do remember when I first started, I was very hesitant to use packages and programs because I always felt like I didn't want to charge people too much. I wanted to fit in as much as I could in one session. And so I would always say, well, come in for this first session and we'll see if you need more. I didn't really have packages and programs set up as part of my business protocol. And what I found is that when we do offer packages and programs, we have more clarification on what we're offering. So it gives the clients more confidence in us because we can say, hey, you're coming in for this issue, and that will be about so many sessions, and we can tell them exactly what to expect and what they're looking for. That way they know what they're getting. Because if we say only one session, then, and you can come back if you want to, which is, I did this for a while, is they don't really know what to expect. And it leaves them confused and unsure about what they're getting, and then confused and unsure if they're going to get the results that they wanted to. And we all know that, and I know I do this, when someone says, well, maybe you can come back, or the acupuncturist says, come back when you want, or the massage therapist says, whenever you're ready, we renegotiate in our mind again and again and again. Do I really need it? Should I pay for it? Can I do it on my own? Maybe I could wait a few more weeks. And when we offer a package, they're able to say, this is what I get, this is what I'm expecting, and this is how long it's going to take to see the results. Or really, I get to see the results right away, but I'm going to get it reinforced so it's properly done forever and we don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
So I did find, I had a colleague that I met with last week, and we were talking about this because she also sees hypnotists or sports athletes. And she said the same thing. She's like, well, I just do one session, and I've heard one time at a conference that if you do one session and you tell them they'll see results, that you're putting that expectation out there. And you should only do one session and then say, oh, well, you can come in for another if it doesn't work, or we'll see how things go. But we were talking about how there are so many different modalities that we as hypnotists and hypnotherapists can offer. There's NLP, there's brain spotting, there's teaching self hypnosis, there's using hypnosis. And when we only offer one session and we want them to see the change, which is what we want them to do, right? We want to see a change immediately. There are so many modalities that we try to fit into that first session, and it's not effective because we know that there's a lot of, EFT, there's a lot of modalities that we can use that can help them be successful to reach their goals. But when we try to get it all into one session, it's like we're rushed and we don't give them the value that they're looking for. I mean, they're calling you because they want change. And so this is kind of something that I have realized and recognized in the last 15 years that I've been working, that it not to be afraid to offer packages and programs and tell them how much it costs.
Yeah. Well, there's so many benefits. I mean, for the person coming in, right? Instead of getting a Band-Aid solution where, like you said, if they want change and transformation, there's probably more than one thing going on that leads to that. Anybody that's trained, whether it's in coaching with things like NLP or hypnosis, like we understand that, that instinctively. And I think doing that one package or one session way and not offering a package, it's doing them a disservice as well, because it's making them think like, hey, everything's almost going to be fixed like a magic wand, and then getting disappointed when they realize there's a whole person and there's other avenues. And it doesn't need to take a ton of sessions, like, that.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it takes more than one. And also, let's just be honest, from a cash flow perspective, as the person who is the practitioner, the hypnotherapist offering this, I mean, just think about this. If you've got somebody coming in for a couple of sessions because they've already booked them, they've already paid for them, like, what does that do for their cash flow? It's huge.
Exactly. Yes. And I was going to mention that also, is that, they know what they're going to get. They know what's going to cost up front. And that also helps us to book weeks and months out. And we're in this to be profitable and successful. And when they see a change, they refer. But yeah, exactly. Like, we get to make money too, and not try to really just fit it all into one session because we're trying to save them money. So exactly.
Yeah.
As business people.
It's funny. Sometimes the very people who are offering the services get to have their own shift around how are they thinking about cash flow and money and their beliefs. It's really an interesting thing when we talk about this. So let's go back to the people for a second in terms of structuring. So can you give an example of what the structure of, for example, a for the help, if like my brain is going so fast, I'm so excited to talk to you, I'm tripping over my own tongue here. Can you give an example of what a 4-session package would look like?
Sure. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. It doesn't have to be this exact session or package program. But what I found with my Attitude of a Champion program, when I developed the Attitude of a Champion program, I came up with a structure to use with athletes. And I've recognized that that same structure works with all clients. And it's a basic structure, and you can change it or do different things in between. But I love it that there is a structure, because I know when I first started, I had no structure. I didn't know what to do. I would study for like 3-4 hours with every client I had, because I was like, what am I going to do with them? But when you have this structure, it really helps put things into place that, and this is a 4-session package. You could make it 3, you can make it 6 if you have more things to work on with them. But this is just a basic, if you were to do a 4-session package, the structure of it. So I wanted to share a little bit about what that is, because I know that would have been very helpful for me way back when. The first one is just take that first session to do the intake, to get to know them, to ask questions, find out what they're struggling with, listen to them, and then help them formulate their positive self-statements, which is a key, I believe, to change, because we're creating those new pathways and we want to strengthen them. We don't want to just plant a little seed and hope it sticks. We want to strengthen the pathways. And part of that is creating the affirmation statements that they get to read every day, twice a day, and reinforce what we're working on in the office. I also find, and Helen Midas, who's one of my mentors, and I just love dearly, I think you all know that, when I took her course, I loved her course. And I never really understood the concept of not offering hypnosis in the first session, because we think that's what people pay for and we think that's what they want. But in the end, believe it or not, most people just want to be listened to. And you can get huge change in that first session by just listening to them, asking them questions, and letting them tell you, like a lot of times it's why that could be or what the trigger was, or they just want to tell you the story. It not only helps you formulate what their script will be, it also helps them to see some aha moments, or they start to get that change in that waking hypnosis. So that's what I do for first session. Second session, I always review at the beginning of the session 3 positive things they've seen changes in themselves or their environment. That's, takes 10, 15 minutes of review. And then obviously using hypnosis to make the change, whatever modality you use, whether it's EFT or NLP, for that session. With every session, then I also give a task, something for them to do or complete by the next session. And then with the 4-session package, the third one would be definitely teaching them self-hypnosis. I am a huge proponent of self-hypnosis. I practice it myself. I believe that we should all be using what we teach. And so I teach self-hypnosis. I give them a sheet, a write-up of what self-hypnosis is and how they can do it. And I always tell them it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just an outline, but it's to remind you how to do it, because we all know. And I tell them this also is we teach so much and there's so much change happening so quickly that I feel like we lose half of what we learn if we don't have it reinforced. So that third session, again, is reinforcing what we worked on, using another modality, using a different script, helping them with more change, seeing things, reframing things, seeing things in a different way. There's so many things we can do, right? And then, of course, hypnosis again, because that's where the magic happens. And one of my tips I started learning to do this is right before hypnosis saying, okay, are you ready for the magic? And they're like excited about it because hypnosis, in their mind is this great magical thing. So then they get that piece of the magic also after all the learning. And then the 4th session is review self-hypnosis, because sometimes they aren't sure how to do it or they feel uncomfortable with it. So making sure that we can reinforce that. Again, what are the positive changes you've seen in yourself and your environment? And then a deep trance hypnosis, where I love planting the seed and telling them every time you get into hypnosis, you get deeper. And by the time you come to the 3rd and 4th and 5th session, whatever your package was, we're going to do a deep trance hypnosis session. I'm going to make you a personalized audio during the session that you get to take home and listen to all the time. Now, I know there's a lot of hypnotists and hypnotherapists that will charge for that extra audio, and that's okay too. That's your personal, whether you want to charge for that audio as a bonus, here, I'll make this for you, and charge you more or not, that's up to them. In the first session, I always give them a basic, like a self-hypnosis or a relaxation audio, or maybe an general insomnia, sleeping audio. And then that last session with the deep trance, I like to give them their own personalized recording. So yeah, it's pretty much, that's the 4 sessions if you're doing 4. Again, if we're seeing anxiety and high panic attacks, it'll be 7, 8 sessions. So it is different with, the different challenges that they come in, but that's just a basic what you would do in a 4-session program. And I wanted to mention real quick is I often hear, and I didn't hear this when I just did 1 session or 2 sessions, but now when I do 4 and 5 sessions, I often hear in that last session, oh, darn, this is my last session. Like they're really disappointed because they're enjoying coming in and seeing the changes in themselves. So there's a lot of benefits to offering packages and programs. And like you talked about, Andrea, it's really a mindset of the value that you're giving, and that it is so valuable that they will and they want to pay for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's huge. I mean, there's so many things that you just touched on that are so important. I mean, I've seen this over and over and over again, that people that do create packages and programs, you also stand out. You're also then differentiating yourself from everybody that's maybe just charging per hour. I don't know about you, but for me, when it's something that's ongoing, where I know there's change and transformation happening, because I believe in coaching, I always have a coach, I always have a mentor, right? Feeling like I know that there is continuity when I'm in the middle of transformation gives me a lot of peace of mind. So being able to, as the practitioner, make sure you're offering that, right? You're looking at, again, the whole person. So you are differentiating yourself from the people that are just, here's how much I'm going to charge per hour per session, right? You're
Right.
actually creating an entire experience for the person. And then, like you said, you can add in those bonuses, and you can do those personalizations that are really powerful. So,
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
well,
Yeah.
you have worked with a lot of people. I mean, you've been at this for over 15 years. You have worked with over 2,000 athletes and coaches. What is your number one success secret?
Well, that's an interesting question because I feel like there's more than one. There's honestly a few, but I'll give you just a couple
Agreed.
of them. I feel it's very important for us as hypnotists and hypnotherapists and change workers to practice what we preach. And part of practicing what we preach is practicing self hypnosis, like I mentioned, looking inside ourselves, seeing whether we fall short or how we can reframe things or see it in a different way, but really looking inside ourselves and how we show up in the world. I believe that's really important. Using our positive thinking, being able to switch our negative thoughts to positive, which is something we teach, right? Like it's all in your thoughts, create your reality. It's that robot theory. And so the positive thinking, definitely the visualizations and manifesting. I know when I first got into this field, manifesting was like, what is that? But as we start learning about it and the power of it, and we visualize our future and we manifest something, and it comes to fruition,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost magical how it really does truly happen. So the visualizations and just like I said, practicing what we preach. And I'm also a huge proponent of seeing other hypnotists and hypnotherapists, colleagues, training out, and having a business coach.
Yes.
That's huge for me. And Andrea, you've been my business coach for a couple of years now, and I have to say I would never be where I'm at, not only in my business but in my mindset,
Mm-hmm.
without a business coach and an amazing business coach. So that's definitely one of my top secrets. And then the second one I just want to mention, and I'm just learning this even at my age now, is the vulnerability piece,
Mm-hmm.
is to let others see you. And I know I personally grew up in everything looks good. Let's all, everything's perfect. Everything was great in my life, but being able to be vulnerable and let others people see you and see your heart and see where you mess up too, it's truly helping others. And that's just something that, again, I've maybe learned in the last couple of years, but to me, it's a number one success secret. And I see that the most successful, the millionaires out there, they are incredibly vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
I think there's something to be said for that. Brene Brown talks a lot about this in her work on shame and vulnerability. There's something when we open up and allow other people to see us, all of a sudden they go, wow, this person's human too. And I think, especially for everybody that's been watching the series, I mean, you've been here for a reason, you're watching for a reason. Take away what Karen said. I mean, she didn't give you one success secret, she gave you a few as to what you can do beyond doing all of the packages and the sessions, but to actually grow yourself so that as your business is up leveling, you grow with it. I love what you shared. It was very powerful.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So
I hope it helps others. That's what we want to do is help others and help them to be successful too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the ripple effect, really. I mean, when you're in an industry like this one, in this kind of a field, really, I look at it like we are the change makers. We are making a difference, whether people are working with athletes or not. You're making a difference for real human beings, right? And so that's really what it's all about. So I know there are probably some people that have questions on how to really then take this idea of packages and put it all together and how to structure it. So I know you've got an amazing free gift. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I do. I am offering the tips on structuring programs and packages PDF. And it's very similar to what I just went through for you just now. I know I like to talk a little bit fast, so I'm sure you weren't able to write all that down. And I am going to offer it to you in a PDF so that you have an example of how to structure your program.
Beautiful. So the link's right there on the screen below, and you can go and access that. Karen, any other last final words? Anything else that, if you could just have them come away with this, that you would want people to know?
I think my last final words are that I just want every one of you to know that I value you and I appreciate that you were here on this series with us. I hope that you took all of that advice from our amazing experts and soak it in. If you have any questions, I also want to let you know that I am here for you. I would love for you to connect with me. Send me an email, catch up with me on Facebook, connect with me. Tell me what you learned, what you got from it, and how we can help you to grow your business because nothing makes me happier than to see those in our field be successful because I really truly believe in the power of hypnosis and I want others to see it and I want others to be successful all over the globe.
Well, I want to thank you for being such a huge stand for all of the other people in your field, for putting this resource together, for introducing them to all of these experts. I mean, this is the very picture of generosity, of really being a stand for people in your field. So I want to thank you for doing this extra interview for everybody today. And I want to thank everybody that's been here with us for this entire series, all learning all about the Profitable Business Show. And thank you for being here. Thank you, Karen. And we will see you later. Make sure you catch up with Karen everywhere you can online. Bye for
Thank
now.
you. And thanks, Andrea, for being here with me.
My pleasure.
Thanks, audience.